Hey, I'm your host, Anthony Tank Mansfield. And with me today is...
Lauren Strecker.
And this is What You Into.
What you into? What you into?
All right. Hey, seriously, normally I hate the opening as the worst part of the show, but recording the bumper, also a fucking piece of shit as well. Because every week I feel like I bomb the intro, and then what happened to you there?
I felt okay. I did kind of worry a little bit that I was going to forget my own name when you pointed at me. But, you said that you always mumblefuck up the bumper, but you didn't. It was beautiful. It was smooth like silk.
It never feels that way. It feels very choppy and rocky, and then right into my bad opening intro. I feel bad for people that tune into this show and they listen to only the first 30 seconds. They're like, this is awful. Listener, hang in there. It gets better. Like, we're instantly through the two worst parts of the show, the intro and the opening. And now let's get into Lauren Strecker's back in the basement. What's going on? How you doing?
I'm great. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me again.
Second time.
Second time.
The sequel.
Not Dale Earnhardt yet.
Not Dale Earnhardt yet.
Number 3.
Number 3. Number 1 in our hearts.
Always number 1. Always, also in heaven. R.I.P.
He is, but he's kicking ass up there.
Yeah. I hope so. Just making left turn after left turn.
Do you think there's NASCAR in heaven?
I mean,
if there's heaven, it's gotta have NASCAR, right?
I hope so. You know what? My idea of heaven does not include NASCAR. But for some people, I think their idea of heaven is just NASCAR. I've always hoped that if there is some sort of afterlife, it's more tailored personally to what you consider what heaven would be. So if for someone NASCAR is heaven, I hope that's what it is.
Yeah, I don't know how the zoning regulations work in heaven. Like, I'm not sure if, how close is NASCAR to your cloud? Or can you move your cloud to a section that's not near the NASCAR? Like, maybe you're more of an arts and crafts fair kind of person, or you like the beach.
Right. And also the children that live on the clouds close to the NASCAR track had their IQ tick up a couple of notches after they stopped using leaded gasoline in NASCAR heaven. That's a true story that actually happened to kids that lived around a NASCAR track. They're like the neighborhood children had an increase in their IQ after NASCAR stopped using leaded gasoline.
Well, it's good to know.
Was that too heavy? Was that too much?
I was just trying to keep it happy, and you were like, these kids were dumb. Now
they're not as dumb.
Not as dumb. I mean, I'm not saying anybody's going to write the next great American novel, but they stopped licking walls.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, for sure. They stopped licking the walls. The floor, on the other hand,
you can't get away from that.
Yeah, exactly. It's delicious. Oh. Salty.
Yeah, I hope that there's not floor licking in heaven. Or people that do or shoeys. Have you ever done a shoey?
No, God, no. I've never done a shoey.
I never have. No, I have no desire. I think it's a bad deal all the way around. Like, no, you're drinking,
I know it's stupid.
No, you're drinking out of your shoe.
Your foot's gonna be wet.
And it's a twofer.
There's nothing worse in this world. You know what is not in heaven? A wet sock.
That's true.
There is not a single wet sock in heaven.
Nope. All the mud puddles are dry in heaven.
That's right. And you don't have to worry about, stepping off the curb into that nasty water, and it just goes, you feel it go up and over and into the shoe. That doesn't happen in heaven.
Yeah. Well, I feel like heaven's got their parks and street department together.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or they should. They really should.
They've had an attorney figure it out.
But churches are exempt from taxes. So, where did it... But
you're donating prayers and then that currency.
Thoughts and prayers, baby.
Well, You've now offended all the religious listeners of the show.
Yeah, well, it was going to happen eventually. Might as well get it done at the top.
I hope somebody comes on and rebuttals you.
Have you gotten hate mail yet?
No, nobody mails in the show, which is a bummer. I every once in a while somebody does. Like my buddy JD Kaiju on Instagram hit me up and told me that he likes the show, and we like chatted about it, and I appreciate it. My buddy Clint Young sent me up about the show. Cody Hucker, like people have talked about the show, and every time I do, I'm just like, hey, give me feedback. Like, what's not working? Like,
Right.
But thank you. I appreciate when anybody writes in the show, whether it's good or bad. It's nice to know people are listening, and I don't know. We'll see.
If you get hate mail, I hope it's not from my episode specifically.
Wouldn't that be a motherfucker if the one time I get hate mail it's because of you?
That would be a motherfucker.
Do you think the hate mail would impact the possibility
Of the Dale
Earnhardt?
Earnhardt? Yeah, I was just going to say, if we're going to have hate mail, make sure that it's on episode 3 so that I can be part of the Dale Earnhardt Club with Mama Crass, who also is part of the Dale Earnhardt Club.
It's true. All right, I see what you're doing. You gotta get in that you're leveraging. Well, okay. Let's talk about that. So you were supposed to come on a show with her.
Yep.
And you were supposed to come on a show with her and Jazz.
Yeah, is Jazz in the Dale Earnhardt Club?
I think she's just in the 2.
We need another NASCAR driver.
Yeah, possibility. Oh shit, we okay. Wait, hold on. Sorry, abrupt. We got to do plugs real quick before we dive into the opening segment.
Yeah.
All right. IG for you at Lauren S. Skates, also Anabolic Skate, and Elevated Aerials, which we're going to be talking about today.
Yes, that's right.
And then listener for me, neiltoknoone.com is the website, at neiltoknoone is the Instagram. And if you live in the Cincinnati area, stop in High Grain Brewing or look at your local bottle shop. There's a few places out in the Cincinnati market that got them. Rants and Rabbit Holes, it's the double IPA, hazy double IPA that I got to make with them while doing the podcast series with them, interviewing people that work there and what they do inside of High Grain and outside of High Grain. And yeah, they even let me draw the fucking can art. So if you see it, grab it. And thanks for supporting the show. All right, shillings out of the way. Let's get into you. So you were supposed to come on a podcast about true crime.
That's right.
That was the deal. And then you got sick.
Yep.
Some people said bone-shattering diarrhea.
Oh, yeah, I was in a full body cast for a long while. I just got out. I did an Uma Thurman from Kill Bill type of muscle regeneration where I just focused on wiggling my big toe first, and then I was able to move the rest of my body, but I was able to make it here. That, if you couldn't figure out, is false. That didn't happen. But yeah, I did get sick. So yeah, I was supposed to be on to talk about true crime, and to talk about some of the science stuff.
Yes.
And disclaimer, my degree is in microbiology, not forensics, but one of my coworkers does have her degree in forensic science. So
do you two just talk shop all the time?
Not as often as you would think, but yeah, we do talk about murder sometimes.
All right. What do you look for in the science end of true crime? Like, are you specifically looking up stuff to read about, or are you listening to podcasts with the science bent? Like, how do you scratch this itch?
I think I'm more interested in the psychology of why people become serial killers. I think that part is really interesting. Of course, like the lab science side, with like DNA evidence, doing all of that. Like that's kind of it's not exactly what I do every day, but I do a lot of that type of work every day. So it's kind of like, all right, well, I kind of have a handle on that. But what I don't understand is like how someone becomes so completely and utterly depraved. And I watched a really interesting documentary on HBO. I think it's called Crazy Not Insane. And it was a forensic psychiatrist that detailed all of these serial killers coming from really horrible environments as children. And having a brain injury. So they had damage to their brain that controlled impulse. So but they also had like this horrible trauma. So they had like this anger and, all this horrible stuff roiling under the surface. And then coupled with that, they had the inability to control those impulses. And of course, there are plenty of people that come from that type of situation and have probably gotten conked in the head pretty good and don't kill a bunch of people. But I just thought it was really interesting. Mm-hmm. So that's the kind of stuff that I really like about true crime.
Okay, so is there anybody that you or like is there anybody that you lean towards that you find as like a fascinating person to look at?
Yeah, Jeffrey Dahmer. Like the people that become serial killers that I think could have. I mean, obviously, I'm not a professional, and I thankfully never met any of these people. But I like the people that could have maybe been helped with intervention. Like, sure, maybe they would have been abusive to their spouse, but they wouldn't have killed a bunch of people. You know what I mean? Like, with some help, maybe they wouldn't have gone down the horrible path that they did. Or maybe they would just be a kleptomaniac. Who knows? But not a horrible repeat offender.
Mm. Yeah, it is interesting. Like, I do think it is one of those things where I'm always interested in stuff that's outside of like normal day-to-day life. Mm-hmm. Like the idea of like there's shows about prison I think is interesting, or shows about like Mexican drug cartels, serial killers falls in. There's the whole idea of like living in this thing that is completely alien to me. Like I would not know how to operate in this world, nor do I want to operate in this world, but it's also fascinating this world exists.
So you kind of have a lean towards like maybe a little bit of organized crime even?
I think that's interesting. I do think that organized crime is interesting from the standpoint of like you're filling something in the world in a capitalist society has been deemed illegal, mm-hmm. but as a true capitalist, you're like, I will fill the void in the market.
Yeah.
But the problem with black markets are the void is filled by things that are not controlled and are controlled through violence.
Yeah.
Instead of like, you don't see Johnson & Johnson and like Pfizer like taking pot shots at each other or something like that.
Right.
You
know,
like nobody's pulling drive-bys or anything like that. Like,
oh my God. Can you imagine? Like I just imagine from my day-to-day life, especially with Pfizer, like being that's been so conjoined with science because of the news. I just imagine like the R&D department from like Johnson & Johnson and Pfizer, like, shooting their pipette tips at each other, like, that's my idea of a drive-by for the scientists.
Yeah. It's a completely different thing. So I do think it's interesting that those things exist, and just the history of how organized crime has existed, of, going back to Prohibition and seeing things move forward from there. Like,
I feel like organized crime has to be as old as humanity.
It's got to be. I mean, there's got to be somebody always doing shady shit or running a racket or stealing stuff or strong-arming people.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's got to date back, Well, I mean, if you look back at like what's the fucking gangs in New York? It's like those were gangs. That was organized crime. They were controlling things.
It's in the title. Yeah. Gangs.
They didn't bury the lead.
They did.
They were very upfront with what this
were
was.
Extremely transparent.
They're like, this is a group of guys. They're doing crimes.
They are in a gang.
They're in a gang.
A gang of men.
Yeah. So it's interesting just to think that like that's always existed in the world.
I mean, it's kind of like sex work. That's the same way too.
Sex
work has always been there.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And it always will be.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, nobody's. Yeah. And that's weird too, because it's like I don't get the shame of it.
I don't either.
It's like if people want to do this, I don't care. It's not affecting my life.
Exactly.
It's really not. Legalize that, and then like quit stealing women from other countries and dumping them off in America or trading them around.
Yeah.
Like just make it like a thing where it's like, hey, there's practices, procedures to this. Like, at least cut into it on some level. Same thing with like drug war. Like, just cut into this so that there's not this crazy amount of violence that is fucking people up.
I feel like humanity is, if you look at humanity as a whole, I think that we're kind of aging as a person does, where, you know, like cavemen made up stories to, like, you know, be able to understand and put into context things that didn't make sense, like, you know, fire or whatever. And I think that as humanity has progressed, we have matured in some ways. And I feel like drugs, sex work, that type of thing, it's like telling a teenager, don't do this. Like, if you tell a teenager, absolutely do not do this thing, then you're just incentivizing them to go behind your back and do that thing. So if you take away, like, the danger of going behind someone's back and doing something, then it becomes kind of boring.
Yeah. Well, and just also be able to help people who need help and don't, like, throw people in cages. Like,
yeah.
And then fuck up their life with that. So, yeah, it'd be nice if the world would change. I don't think it's going to, because that would cost money instead of make money.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
So, now here we are.
Well, why aren't we in charge?
I don't want to be in charge. I really don't.
There's that theory or whatever that the people that don't want to be in charge are exactly the people that should be in charge. I don't know. Some philosopher said that.
I never want to manage another human being ever again in my life. I just, the only person I want to manage is me. And I don't want to have somebody coming to me with their problems, and I want to have to figure out somebody else's problems, and I don't want to get stuck with a hand grenade of a person that,
oof,
yeah,
those are rough.
Yeah. Where it's just like, I don't want to deal with that.
How about this? I don't want to deal with a hand grenade of a person, but if someone's like, hey, you're senior to me and you have more expertise than me, you have more, like, whatever than I do, can you give me some insight? Then I'm happy to help that person. But if someone's just, like, wiling out, then...
Yeah, see, and that's why I don't want to run the world.
Because they're all wiling out?
Yeah, but I mean, well, you're just going to deal with multiple hand grenades. Like, there's a lot of great people in the world. Also a lot of hand grenades. It's the 1 in 100 rule. If you're in a room with 100 people, there's at least one asshole.
Yeah, that's true. At least one.
The vast majority, pretty fucking cool people. One person.
One doo-doo.
Yep. Yeah, turd in the punch bowl. You can't drink. You can't drink around the turd.
No, and please don't drink around the turd. For the love of God, don't do a shoey and don't drink around the turd.
That's got to happen once in human history, like, right? Like, somebody had to have pooped in a punch bowl at a party as a joke, and there was one person drunk enough to be like, I don't care.
Jesus Christ, I don't think I could ever be that fucking drunk.
I mean, I've seen a dude on the internet suck propane out of a propane tank and then blow on a lighter.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm just saying, as long as the world has existed, there have been dumb dudes. And dumb dudes die in dumb ways.
Yeah, I mean, I can't disagree with that. Like, really, I have no argument at all.
This country is built by dumb dudes dying.
God bless America.
Just guys walking off of skyscrapers.
And those guys are the ones that have NASCAR in their version of heaven.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, let's maybe get back down to earth. Well, not fully down to earth.
All right.
Let's talk Lyra, which I fucked up. I was like Lyra, and you're like no.
I didn't know what you meant at first. I was like, a Lyra. Yeah, Lyra. The hoop that hangs from the ceiling, and you do some acrobatic shit in there.
This sounds very mystical. Is it? What is is Stevie Nicks constantly playing?
Oh, no, but she should be. Oh my God, why is she not? Yeah, we've never had Stevie Nicks. We've never had Fleetwood Mac play during class, and I think that should be remedied.
Okay, we'll get into it.
Okay.
So let's backtrack a little bit. So last time you were on the show, we were talking about all things skating and you and being on 8 wheels, and like you've done all this different shit. So it was like there was roller derby and trail skating and park skating and skating around cities and just skate, dance skating, What am I leaving out? Am I leaving?
No, that about sums it up. Well, I mean, also like teaching skating too. Like there's definitely some of that involved. Yeah, but lots of skating, lots and lots of skating.
Yeah, you definitely like kind of like like the Bubba scene in Forrest Gump where he's talking about all different kind of shrimp. That's you in
God
skating.
damn it! Yeah, it
where
is.
it's just like
Son of a
just
bitch.
like a Rolodex of
Yeah.
skating.
Oh my God. How many ways can you serve up skating? I've had all of them. I've cooked all of them. Yeah, so I was thinking back on it, and ever since I was like 19, I'm 31 now. So for like, the better part of 11 years there, I skated at least once a week, for like 11 years. And that's barring, like when I was in college and if I had a lot of exams to study for, or if I was injured, or, like barring things like that. I mean, I skated a lot, and I have come to view skating as being kind of like a friendship, where I want to keep that relationship healthy. And I was feeling really, really sick of that person. So I needed to take a little step back, and only skate when I wanted to, and not force myself, and not go and skate because, like I felt like I needed to teach someone, or like only showing up to skate for me. And I also felt that I was doing myself a bit of a disservice by only experiencing skating. Like I felt like I wasn't getting to know myself as a whole person by only doing this one thing.
Okay. Yeah, I think there is a point where sometimes if there's something that you love, you figure out that you fell out of love with it, or just the love has changed, but then like you forgot how to love it. And so to remember how to love it, you have to put it down for a bit.
Yeah.
And then come to it when you love it and you want to be with it, and figure it out. Because when something you enjoy doing becomes a chore, you're like that's a big pivotal swing in your relationship with something.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I still love skating. And a lot of my favorite memories are on skates. And I never want to give it up. But it's just a different relationship now. Like it's more something I like to do and less of my identity. Because skating also for a long time was a form of escapism for me, where it was like, oh man, this shit is going on, like this thing is happening, and I don't really want to like think about it or process it emotionally, so I'm going to go and skate and kind of and distract myself so I don't have to deal. And now I feel like I'm in a more like balanced place in my life where I can like handle things and I don't have to have that escapism anymore.
So, okay, so when you transitioned out of skating on a regular basis, and like how did you end up here? So, was there anything in between? Was there downtime, or was it kind of like was it like a breakup, or like like 2 weeks later I'm in a new relationship? Like what's going on here?
No, I wouldn't say that, because like I mean, skating is still like in my heart. Like my skates are in the trunk of my car right now. They don't. I should really take them out. That's probably not good for them to just have.
That's not good advice. Do you know how many people get their skates stolen out of the back of their car?
I know. It's really stupid, but
well, at least you don't have them in the back seat.
No, I have them in the trunk, but
you could break into a car and you can hit the button.
It's honestly like out of habit, because I just was always skating so much. It's like, well, why fucking take him out? I'm gonna need him again.
Right.
So they should just live in the car. But yeah, I should take them out. You're right. It's a silly thing to do. But back in like 2018, I got I don't even know like why I wanted to try aerials. So I had seen people doing like silks, which is the ribbons that hang from the ceiling. And I was like, wow, that's just like so interesting. And the shapes that people can make with their bodies is just so beautiful. And I wanted to explore it. And I mentioned it to one of my coworkers, and he was like, oh, my wife does that. And she teaches. You should go to a class with her. I was like, okay, cool. So I started going to these classes, and I did that for like 6 to 8 months. And then I had like some life changes, and because of insurance, classes for aerials is pretty expensive.
Okay.
So I wasn't able to financially continue with that type of thing. So I took a little bit of a break. And then when I moved, so my fiance and I moved back to a neighborhood that I used to live in here in Cincinnati, which is not far from the studio that I go to. And I was like, you know what? I've gotten a couple of promotions now. I have, more disposable income. I should just go ahead and get back into aerials. And that was in the beginning of like 2022. So yeah, and I've been doing it for like a year now.
So okay, there's a lot of things I would not do with this. So this is one of those episodes where it's like I had people on, and this is a rare one, but it's like I don't get your hobby, or your hobby scares me. And
You said that when I was on before too, when you were like, your hobby scares me.
yeah. You like scary hobbies.
Okay, so when today, as I was thinking about this podcast, I was like, I think I might just like doing things where there's a slight chance of bodily harm.
Yeah, no, you got this thing where you're like, maybe I get paralyzed. Cool.
But the thing is, it's pretty unlikely you're going to get paralyzed doing aerials.
Well, yeah.
Depending.
In most sports, but it's there.
Yes, it is there.
But and your thing's scary because it's very high.
It's not that high.
It's very high. As a man that's built like Gimli, it's very high.
Oh my God, stop it. You're not.
It's one of those things where it's like it's very high off the ground. I don't like ladders. So the idea of like,
well, I don't like heights either.
And now you're up in the air.
I know. We'll get to that.
Okay, you got like, how did you walk into the place for the first time? Like somebody, like you were just like, oh, I'm gonna go to this thing. Like,
yeah.
Did you cold call it, or did you, or did somebody drag you in? Like, or did somebody flip you a card?
So yeah, my old coworker's wife. He told me to link up with her, and I went to her studio for a little while.
But I mean, like, first day, like, just like coming in the door the first day of just being like, hey, I'm here to do this thing. Like, you were
shit. You're really making me think back to 2018.
Were you excited? Were you?
Yeah,
did you have any trepidation about it? Were you like, oh, this is, I don't know.
The first class that I ever went to was in like a gymnastics gym. And so there were like a ton of kids running around, and it was after their class had ended. And I can remember that they had like maybe 3 different apparatuses hanging from the ceiling. So there's a Lyra, which hangs from the ceiling by a really thick piece of like almost Kevlar material called a span set. Then there were silks, which I mentioned earlier, which are pieces of fabric that hang from the ceiling. And then there was a type of pole, which had like this really, like sticky, I don't want to call it sticky, but like grippy vinyl over it. And it wasn't mounted on the floor. It hung from the ceiling by like a small chain. So there were like 3 different apparatuses that like people could try out. And I think it was kind of an open gym where like anyone that was taking classes could come and like just kind of fuck around. And so I came in, and this woman just kind of told me some basic movements and kind of taught me how to get up into the Lyra and how to do some moves. And it really wasn't that intimidating for me because I know this is going to be a huge shock to you, but I was a big tomboy as a kid. And I would like climb trees and shit.
Okay.
So it was just like, oh, okay. I just
like, yeah, I'm climbing on stuff.
yeah, exactly. I've been here. I
Yeah.
know this. So it wasn't that intimidating. If you fast forward now to my current relationship with aerials, I do get intimidated by heights. It's not even that high off the ground. Like, okay, so we do movements on the bottom part of the Lyra, so the smiley face part of the circle, and then we do movements on the top part, the frowny face side, which is also the way I feel about getting high up in the air.
Is that the technical term? Is the smiley side and the frowny side?
No, but I just made it up right now.
I was really hoping that was the way they
No,
introduced it to you. They're like, and over here is the smiley side, and then if you go on the frowny side, it can sometimes be
It's
scary
a little
and sad.
dicey.
Yeah.
No, I think that was just my subconscious leaking out and telling you how I really felt about it.
Fair.
But we say the bottom bar or the top bar.
Okay.
So the bottom bar, I'm like 5'3", 5'4", and the bottom bar, I would say, is typically like at eye level to me. And you always have a crash pad underneath you that's like 6 to 8 inches thick.
Oh, nice.
So, that is really handy. And whenever you do a movement, there are 3 points of contact. So you'll have you'll be hanging on with your hand, and then you'll have your elbow like maybe over here, and you'll be hanging on by your knee too. So if your hand slips, you have another like 2 spots
Okay.
that you feel secure in. So it's not as bad as what you might think. But then when you get to the top bar, that shit's a little squirrely because you're much higher. You go from being like at eye level to being like add another like 3 feet to that. So then you're suddenly like 8 feet in the air.
So to get to the top bar, are you doing like a pull up or like a muscle up to get on top of the bar? Like, how does this work?
So we call it an egg shape. So what you'll do is you will grab the top bar with your palms facing away from you, and you'll be in a seated position on the bottom bar, and you'll bring your knees up to your chest to make an egg, and then you like swing your knees towards your face, so you're upside down at this point, and then you can hook your knees to the top bar.
Oh, okay.
Or if you want, you can also get on the bottom bar and stand on the bottom bar and make your way to the top.
Nice. Okay. So, all right. So there's a way to do this without just like hulking out every time. But yet still, this sounds very like physically taxing.
It can, yeah. Honestly, what is the most physically taxing is your grip strength. For me. Mm-hmm. Like that's what I have the most trouble with is my grip strength for sure.
Yeah, it's fun doing stuff where you do get to learn like grip stuff though, and and have a strong grip. Like it is nice in your day to day where you can just like squeeze on shit.
Yeah, sure, including like a person's face.
I'm just saying, it's a nice thing to have. It's cool to be able to crush stuff.
I can open any fucking jar of pickles.
Yeah, see, there you go. Yeah, there's a use for good.
Yeah, exactly. It's practical.
Yeah, not just grabbing people by the necks. There's other things you can do with it. Yeah, this is now in my head. I'm thinking back the one time where Crass told me the way men figure out
the dick.
No, not the dick. Wait, the dick.
Oh shit! Because she said anyway. That's a separate story. God damn.
The dick story's a different story.
Sorry.
No, I was saying about one time she came into my house and I handed her one of the podcast mics and she looked at me and I looked at her and she looked at me and I'm like, huh? And she's like, oh, you want me to say it's heavy? It's good because it's heavy. And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, that's the way men determine how things are. If it's heavy, it's good. And I was like, that's true. I do think a lot of things are the more they weigh. I'm like, see, that's good. That's sturdy.
How do you feel about the kettlebell in the corner then?
I like that's what the kettlebell's there. It's chilling. Just every once in a while, I can go pick up something heavy and then be like, all right, cool.
Yeah, you feel good about yourself.
I do. I have good grip strength. I'm picking something up. It's heavy.
Oh, you know what? Maybe I don't think I'm that different. I really don't think I'm that different because when I'm picking up my whole body weight. So-
True. Although I don't elevate off the floor when I pick up the kettlebell. See, again, for me, it's the height thing. The height thing freaks me out. Although you're selling me on the idea of it's like there is a part where it's a little lower to the ground and there's 8 inches of foamy pad. That
So-
does help.
I will say as well, at elevated aerials, the instructors are fucking incredible. They are so concerned with their students' safety, with making sure that they are like being fulfilled not only in their journey with aerials, but as a person. Before every class, the instructors will say, "Are there any injuries I should know about?" That doesn't happen in most places. I'm not talking about necessarily like aerial gyms, but I'm talking about like when I played roller derby, no one was like, "Hey, does your shit hurt today?" You're like, "Of course it hurts." But like, they're just really centered on their students' well-being.
I don't think I've ever been to a place where anybody's asked me if I was hurt unless they knew I was hurt.
It's kind of nice.
Yeah, although I will say in jiu-jitsu, we wouldn't ask Jared, but before we roll, sometimes I would take that back. Before we roll, people would be like, "Hey, do you got anything?" Or some people would say that.
That's kind of nice.
Some people would say that, or other people would tell you beforehand. They're like, "Hey, watch my shoulder,"
Yeah.
Or you could just ask, like, "Are you everything cool?" So
Yeah.
So yeah, okay. Well, 2 places, but yeah, I don't think I've ever had something where a coach was like when I was warming up, like, "Hey, how you feeling today, sport?" Like that's very nice of them.
They say it a little bit softer than that, but yeah.
They don't call you sport.
No one has called me sport.
They don't tell you to rub some dirt on it.
No, they haven't.
Has anybody slapped you on the ass, tell you to play like a champion today?
Not in this context.
All right.
Just kidding. But anyway, yeah. So they're just really good about being sure that you're safe. And if you say, "Hey, I'm too scared to go onto the top bar and do this. Can you lower my hoop for me?"
Mm-hmm.
They'll lower your hoop for you.
That's nice.
Super nice.
Okay, you can bring the hoop down a little bit. Does anybody go the opposite way? Is anybody like, put it up?
Oh, not that I've seen.
No.
I mean, I'm sure that you could request it, but
Give me more height. I want to be above the rest of you.
these plebes.
Yes. Look down. Look at me from my gigantic sky altar.
Yeah.
So how often do you go, and like how long is practice?
So I go once a week, and there are open gyms as well that you can go.
You can just like duck in and
Yeah,
hang out.
exactly. But practice is like 75 minutes, an hour and a quarter.
Okay.
And then the open gyms I think are like maybe 2 hours.
Nice.
But yeah, I only go one time a week. I wish I had more time, but I also like to cross train and go to the gym and run and do other things too.
So, okay. So and what is practice like? Do you listen to music at practice? Like, do you listen to Aerials by System of a Down every practice?
That's what we start out with in our warm-ups. No, I'm just
I
kidding.
would think it's like your Pledge of Allegiance.
It should be, but no, we listen to a lot of like instrumental music, like a lot of kind of like synth stuff.
Okay.
Just kind of like jammy.
Just like, is it like lo-fi stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And everybody's just very chill.
Yeah. Very, very relaxed, but we'll all start out like doing like stretches together, and then we'll do conditioning where we get into the hoop and we'll do like some pull-ups in the hoop, or we'll hang from the bottom bar and do sit-ups, like that type of thing. But yeah, then we'll move into doing like an actual sequence or movements, and usually like the warm-up or the conditioning will involve a movement that's similar to what we're going to be doing in the class. Like the classes are always really well thought out too.
Okay. So things are leading into each other. It's
Yeah.
an idea of scaffolding where it's like, hey, this is going to be kind of the intro thing into what's eventually going to be the thing that we're doing.
Yes, exactly. You're building off of it.
Is it a pose? Is it a trick? Like what do we call this?
I would say like, yeah, it's a pose. You can have poses, but then people will also do like rolls and stuff where they'll like spin around the bar. There's something called a horse roll where you sit. So the bar is like kind of on the back of your thigh. So it's kind of in between your legs, and you grab the bottom bar with your palms facing away from you, and you spin forward. So you lean forward and try to spin around the bar.
Okay.
I know that's probably kind of hard to visualize, but that I would call that a movement as opposed to a pose.
Okay. So, and then is it like skateboarding where there's tricks where like shit has names and
Yeah,
you can
for
call
sure.
stuff out
And things have different names in different places. I was at a conference for work last week, and I went to a gym where the conference was, and it was strange because it was like we were speaking a different language, where I was like, yeah, I can do arabesque and I can do gazelle and go into, whatever. And the instructor had no idea what the fuck I was talking about.
over here we call that a Chicago baseball.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just
exactly.
Like, wait, what? And it's like, now that's an outdoor dog.
Yeah, we
And
call
it's like,
that a
wait,
Philly cheesesteak.
It's like, what? Okay. Yeah.
Extra cheese whiz.
Yeah. No, that's a lower back tattoo. It's like, whoa. Is that a good thing?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, they definitely have, like different places have different names for things.
Okay. All right. So interesting. See, I would think at this point with like the internet and shit, like there'd be like a database of
Right?
like what this is called, because I mean, I'm thinking again, like this gets me thinking of sports like skateboarding and jiu-jitsu where it's like a Kimura is a Kimura and like, an ollie is an ollie. Like,
I think you're right. It is kind of weird that it's not that way. But people will call like, I think that people will call things that are like the tricks somewhat analogous names.
Did you run into that in skating? Like if you would go to another city and skate with people, like would everybody be using the same terminology for tricks, or was it different?
I feel like most people didn't know the names of tricks. Honestly, like they would see some shit on Instagram and be like, I'm going to try that. And it's like, okay, well, that's a staple gun. That's a Bertleman, like whatever. They didn't know the names for things.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You're involved in all these sports, but nobody knows what shit's
I
called.
know. No one knows what the fuck is going on. But you're calling aerials a sport, and I don't know if I don't know if I call it a sport. Is it aerial arts?
Yes,
like
the great debate.
I've only been doing this for a year and some change, so I'm still really a rookie.
Yeah, no, this is definitely an interesting part of this because this is like when I did the skateboard episode, and they were both guys, Ryan and Chris, were just both like, well, it's not a sport. And it's like, well, it's in the X Games, like, and they're like, well, it's kind of more of like, like they were looking at it as like more of an art.
Yeah.
And, and less like a competition thing, more of like an expression.
You could make it a sport.
Yeah, and people have said that about martial arts, where it's like it's got arts in the fucking title.
I was gonna say that it's
Right.
like Gangs of New York.
Yeah, but then
Martial
like
arts.
but it's like MMA is definitely a sport because there's people there being paid money to do it,
Right.
And they're
training their bodies like it's a sport, right?
Yeah, exactly. And like they're on diets to make weight classes, and they're lifting, and some people are doing some other stuff, or at least trying to, and not get popped. So, it's interesting to figure out with some stuff that walks that line between sport and art, and just where people see that line being.
Yeah, and I mean, it's also really interesting, and I think that aerials is similar to skating in that there are lots of different body types, and different body types can do different things. Like I mentioned that I enjoy going to the gym and lifting. Because I like to lift, I'm pretty strong. Like I have no problem getting myself into a lot of the different like poses, right? Or cycling through the movements. But I don't have the same flexibility that of the people that are like religious or devout yogis. And they also don't have the same strength as me to do different stuff either. So I just think that's a cool parallel. I think that's an interesting parallel.
Yeah, it's interesting to share stuff with people with different body types. It really is. Because then you can see what people do and do well or not do well. And yeah, it's an interesting thing to run into, to be like, oh, cool, you do this way differently than I do.
Yeah, and I think that it just also makes you appreciate just like how versatile and dynamic human bodies can be. And very plastic. You know, you can train your body to do a lot of different things. Like you can train your body to be a contortionist, or you can train your body to deadlift 1,000 pounds. And the person that can deadlift 1,000 pounds, I am quite sure can't put their legs over their head, you know?
The Olympics are always an interesting look into this. Like when you look at people that are in events, like even if it is powerlifting or shot put versus somebody who's like a sprinter, you know, or you get into even the Winter Olympics with ice skaters, like they're all extremely different body types.
Yeah.
But they're all human at the end of the day.
For sure.
Yeah, which is a very interesting thing to see what all you can do. Yeah, it's the same thing where like humans can work a ton of different jobs and all that. Like we're a very adaptable creature.
Yeah.
You know, we live in deserts, we live in Antarctica. Like
somehow we've managed to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we do.
Yeah, like you can kind of put humans in a lot of different spots and a lot of different things will happen.
I think that's another reason that I like skating and aerials, though, is because there were times with skating, and there are certainly times with aerials where I think my body cannot do that. And I'll give it a shot. And as it turns out, I can do those things. And I love that surprise.
So talking about, okay, so there's other people that are here with you. Are they your teammates? Are they, because like this is a singular, again, I want to say sport, but not sport and art. Okay, you're doing this thing singularly, right? So then what's the interaction like with other people during this?
I think the interaction with other people is like sometimes people will understand a movement better. They might just, you know, understand the directions better, or they may have done it already. So it's kind of nice to be able to look at other people for cues. But I think something else that's really interesting is like, you know, like let's say someone's like gazelle, which is where you lay back. So you're hanging upside down from the bottom bar, but you're balancing on your back. So your legs are like up against the hoop and you're upside down. Again, I know that's hard to visualize, but people have like different flexibility in their back, and people have more flexibility in their straddle so that they can move their legs further. And I think that it's cool to look at other people and see how different poses look on them. It's like, you know, different colors on different skin tones, or like the way, or like the different cut of a dress or a top or something. Like everyone looks beautiful in their variation.
I like beautiful is the word. Like, that's an interesting.
There's also fantastically awkward, which is what I usually think I
cause,
fall into.
Because that's what I'm like. I'm like, is everybody beautiful? Like, because you're painting this picture where you're like, this is the greatest place you've ever seen, where the field is always green and the winds blow. And I'm like, there's got to be somebody who's like,
oh yeah, that's definitely happening for sure. But like when people get it, that's kind of what I mean. Like when they get it, it's like, oh damn. That's gorgeous. Like that looks great. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, there's definitely some wonky shit that happens. Like some scary shit where you're like, God damn, you're about to fucking die. You're gonna fall the fuck out of there.
I just want to think that there's like one person who's like, oh my God, I finally get it. And there's somebody else beside and just like, gah, boom, and just like totally eats it. But to get to be the person that finally gets it for the first time, you got to be the person that's ate it multiple times.
Yeah, for sure. And so also at the gym that I go to, there are different like classes for skill level. So there's the beginner Lyra class, and then there's the intermediate and advanced. And I recently leveled up, I'm saying that with air quotes, to level 2. And I had to pass like a series of benchmarks. Like I had to be able to meet like, you know, this requirement and this requirement in order to get there. But again, like when I was traveling and I went to a different gym, it just really made me appreciate how structured like Cincinnati's gym is, how structured elevated is, because I got the impression that this other gym did not have those protocols in place, and that's also there like for the student safety.
When you leveled up, did you get like a new scarf or like a hair tie or anything?
Oh shit, I wish.
They're not like, here, you're level 2 now.
It was pretty unceremonious where
they're like, hey, you can show up at 6 now.
Yeah, exactly. They were like, okay, you're coming on Thursday instead of Tuesday. But I was like, kind of the day before the class that my instructor approached me, I was thinking, you know, I'm kind of feeling a little bit bored. And then my instructor came up to me at our next session and she said, you know, I think that you could go to level 2 if you wanted. Would you want to do the assessment? And I was like, yeah, sure. So I did the assessment and she was like, yeah, you passed. So then I started going on Thursdays instead of Tuesdays. And the shit is definitely harder.
Yeah, they've upped the game.
Oh, they've upped the game. And it's in level 1, there wasn't a movement where I felt like I couldn't physically do something. In level 2, my second class, there was a movement that I physically could not do. And I don't think it was necessarily because I didn't have the strength. I just could not wrap my mind around it.
So, okay. So when that happens, like, can you eventually get it? Like, there will be a point where you can level it to get it. Like, it's not like a thing where it's like, I physically can't do this. Just like right now, how does this work? Where is it like a where do I put my weight thing?
Yeah, a little bit. And it's also like, I'm not using the right muscles right now. Like that's been a big thing for me. I had to take a break from aerials like over the summer because my fiance and I were driving back from a wedding in Michigan and we got in a small car accident and like everything was okay, but I tweaked my back because of the accident and I had to like take some time off. And because of that, I've had to be way more cognizant of using my core. And I think that like if I wanted to, I could muscle through some of the movements, but if I want to do it correctly and use my body the right way, then there are some things that I can't get yet, but I will. Like I will gain the strength and it's not just necessarily strength, but also confidence in the hoop.
Okay. Are there dudes at this thing?
Yeah, there are dudes.
They're dudes?
Yeah, there are dudes. Yeah, there's they're certainly the minority, but there are a couple of guys, and I know that there's one male instructor.
Right on. Are they dudes that come from like a background of gymnastics and stuff, or are they just like guys that are just like popping off the street? They're like, show me, give this a try.
Well, one of them is in ballet, so I feel like that kind of fits.
I can totally see that.
And then the other one, I know that he does like jazz dance. He does some other dance, and he's like whenever we have our warm-ups and we're like doing kind of fun cardio games where you're kind of like playing almost like playing tag, like that type of thing. He just has so much energy, and it's definitely because he's in his early 20s. But one time I was like, oh my God, Jeremy, like, you just don't stop, dude. And he was like, I sit behind a desk all day. He's like, I come here to run around and, get energy out. It fucking works.
He's just got a constant case of the zoomies.
Yeah, he does. He's totally got the zoomies. But he's like, yeah, I do aerials, and then I go to jazz, and then I go to swing, and it's like,
Damn.
yeah, all on like a Thursday fucking night too. That's a lot.
That's a lot. Man, I'd be so tired.
Yeah, because I mean, dancing.
Yeah, dancing is exhausting.
Yeah,
Like you're doing a lot of work.
for sure. You're moving all of your limbs. That is immediately going to raise your heart rate.
Yeah, and usually pretty quickly.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not great at it. So I would, yeah. Again, one of those things where humans do different things.
Humans do different things.
What do you wear for this? Like, is there like, can you just like show up in a t-shirt and like sweatpants or?
You want your skin covered.
Okay.
So I made a mistake in my first round of aerials where I wore shorts. And so this varies like person to person. If you have your own personal hoops, sometimes people will choose not to tape their Lyra. But like at the studio, they have taped Lyras that are for the community, for everyone to use. And it's kind of like hockey tape where it's fabric. And it's grippy as shit, and you will get fucking rug burn on the back of your knees. I made the mistake one time. So yeah, you want your shit to be covered up.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't want rug burn.
No, rug burn sounds like it sucks.
It sucks big time, especially like on moving joints like the back of your knee or like in your elbow or something.
I mean, do you instantly feel it when you're
Oh
doing
yeah.
it?
Oh yeah. Sometimes like I always wear leggings or sweatpants, and there are times where if we're practicing something where we're rolling on the bar a lot, it's like grabbing your skin. It doesn't matter if you're wearing like something long, you're still getting rug burn from your clothing rubbing against you so much.
Okay. So, and then are you wearing like a rash guard or something for your top, or like?
No, you don't get it on your top as much.
Okay. So it's more your legs are what's connecting in your arms.
Yeah, you get like weird bruises.
But not so much your torso.
Not so much your torso, not from what I've been doing. Like the gazelle, what I was describing earlier, where you're upside down and you're kind of hanging on by your butt, basically. Like the top of your butt will kind of get sore, like kind of at the top of your sacrum, because a lot of your body weight is hanging on there, but it's not the same sort of like rug burn.
Okay. All right. So, oh man.
It hurts.
Yeah,
it does hurt.
Yeah, this sounds like this doesn't sound comfortable.
It's not, and you can definitely like squish parts.
Oh, okay. So I'm still on my side of this. I don't like your hobby. I would.
I'm not convincing you. We're not talking about like the fun parts of it right now. We're talking about like the physically uncomfortable parts.
The ouchy parts.
The ouchy parts, yeah.
All right. Is there like brands? Like, is there? Is there gear like that people have?
That is a question I don't know the answer to because I don't own my own Lyra yet. I want to, but those shits are expensive and I don't have a place to hang it right now.
But like, are there companies that make Lyra gear? So like,
you mean like clothing,
like tops and get these leggings because they have an increased grip strength that will enable you to do poses quicker, faster, better.
Stronger. No, I don't think those exist, but there is a lot of there are a lot of makers on Etsy that make clothing, like different costumes. I don't want to say costumes, but like different outfits that you can wear. But I mean, like, honestly, fucking leggings, like anything that you wear to the gym that will cover you is going to work for Lyra. I've never done any sort of like showcase or anything. I've never performed. So I don't know how much there is out there for that type of thing either. I know that a lot of people wear like stuff that you can get from like a dance company.
Right. So I'm just picturing you show up in your leggings and a t-shirt that says like rinse due or something like that.
Yeah.
Or like, you know, like sweat is just pain leaving the body, you know, something.
Something along those lines. Yeah. I mean,
my father doesn't hug me, you know, things like, you know, like
he does.
t-shirts that really, you know, get we're here to lift, but on a
Oh my
Lyra.
God. So there actually is someone that comes to my classes. Her name is Cheryl, and she always has like kind of a funny
Hell yeah.
t-shirt like that. Yeah, this is 100% Cheryl.
Does she ever have wine time shirts?
No, she doesn't. But it's usually like, I work out so I can eat more snacks.
There you go.
You know,
Yeah.
things like that. She always has a good slogan shirt.
Lauren Bishop is a fan of workout gear, and I've never been. Like, I'm the guy who shows up to the gym in some type of like band t-shirt, or like the other day I wore a t-shirt that was Terry Funk in Japan in a barbed wire death match with blood all over himself. I'm like, well, obviously this woman to lift in today.
I don't know what the fuck that is.
Yeah, exactly.
But I have to ask you, do you wear Crocs when you go to the gym?
I do not wear Crocs.
I've seen that.
I'm not a Crocs guy. I've never owned a pair of Crocs. Now
Chase does.
Now I do like a good pair of slides.
Yeah, slides. I also fall into the slides camp. Those are my house shoes.
Yeah.
But Chase bought a pair of Crocs not too long ago.
My dad loves the Crocs.
I think it's just kind of an old man thing.
It is. My dad has been on the forefront of cutting the cutting edge of old man fashion for years. He's a big fan of the white Nikes.
But not New Balance. Yeah. Nikes.
He's done both. He's done the New Balances and he's done the Nikes. Oof. But he likes a nice white shoe or the same style shoe but just in black, because they sell them out where they're like, look, these are the most comfortable shoes. And in old man mind, it's like, I don't care what they look like. I just need to be comfortable.
My God.
Old man fashion is very functional.
We are describing Chase Turner to an absolute T.
He's already on old man fashion.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's going to be 31 at the end of this month, and he's already on it.
Just leaning into the comfort.
He is.
Nice. Does he? What's the sunglasses game like?
The sunglasses game. He bought some sunglasses off of Amazon to look like Master Roshi for Halloween from Dragon Ball, and he ended up liking them. So he already has them, so he just wears them.
Just wears them? Nice.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, he's doing okay there.
Yeah, so he's got like these orangish, like I would call them coral color sunglasses.
Right on. Okay. Well, yeah. All right. See, there's hope. Yeah. There's a balance there. There is function and fashion commingling together on one man.
I'm not dogging on, my fiance's style. But he really likes function.
Function.
Yeah.
Yeah. The older I get, the more I prefer it. All right. So we talked about music. We talked about leveling up. Okay. So are there is there a performance? Is there like a thing where it's like, hey, everybody, every 3 months, we're going to have this thing and people are going to come watch us? Or that exists? Okay. How's this work?
So, I think once a year they have a student showcase. So anyone that is like taking classes at Elevated can come in, and I've never done it, but I think you have to submit like what song you're going to do, what your routine is, and then I think the instructors can kind of decide, like, obviously I'm sure there are some things you can't do, because another really cool thing about aerials in general is like you're telling a story. You don't have to be the most like rhythmically inclined person, because I certainly am not. So you can like tell a story with it, but I think that if you wanted to make it really sexy, you probably could. So I'm not sure what the rating is. So I imagine that they have to screen that
All right.
a little bit.
A lot of questions here. So I like how you're like, you could tell a story, and instantly in my head, I was like, you could like reenact Die Hard, or, you know, like just a number of movies that you could do the thing of, like
Jaws.
Yeah, Jaws would be great. You could do Evil Dead. Like you could do, you know, you go up there with like a chainsaw arm. It'd be awesome.
Yeah, it would be great.
Yeah, I mean, Alien. You could be Sigourney Weaver.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
You're helping me so much.
You get to wear a jumpsuit.
Yeah.
Or you could just like, it'd be really cool if you like had a power loader that was on you while you did
That's
the
exactly
poses.
what I was thinking.
Yeah. 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 Like, yeah, I think there's a lot of ways you can go with this.
Brilliant. All
Yeah.
of them brilliant.
So I'm excited to see the narrative that would be. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could tell a story. The sexy thing, that is an interesting angle. I would that like, how sexy can it get?
I think that is really up to you, and also how much skin you're fucking willing to lose as you're moving around on the hoop. But
Are you allowed to have a water gun?
you know, I'm not sure. I hope so.
All right, we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, well, I'll after the show. Now I want to come to this performance and see what's happening here and see what's going on within the art of this.
It would be, it's my goal to incorporate skating with this.
All right, so you've already decided this?
Yeah.
This is already okay. So are you gonna like come out and do like a sprint and then try to jump through the hoop and then come back and then do the pull up onto the hoop?
No, you took this. You went so aggressive.
Well, you're skating. I
I know, but no,
there'd be some tumbling.
I was thinking more like,
Can you light it on fire?
ooh, so many possibilities. They're endless.
Man, why are they not booking me to write Lyra shows?
They should, because we have a full action movie released in the 80s
Yeah.
in the works right
Yeah,
now.
very much so.
Yeah, I would love to be able to do some floor work and like dance a little bit on my skates, and then get into the Lyra and do something that doesn't involve my feet.
Wait, you could do floor work before you get on the Lyra?
Oh, hell yeah.
Wow. Okay. So, wait, is there costumes for this thing?
Yeah, it's what you want to make it.
Oh my God. I am. At first I was on the side of, this is like a sport thing because people are doing like gymnastic stuff and there's pull-ups and there's muscle, but now
It's performance.
But you added pageantry into it.
Yeah.
And we're telling stories and making dreams come true.
It's a little bit like wrestling in a
Yeah,
way.
it really is. It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you get it? Wait, do you have to go by your real name? Can you have a stage name? Like, how's that work?
That's also a good question. I have no idea.
Holy shit. All right. Well, this really took
I mean, I know that like some people do more of like a burlesque vibe with it. And that's kind of what I had envisioned like the student showcase would be, until I talked to some other people and they told me what their performance was, and I got to see like some of the footage. And it really is a lot of just storytelling and emoting through your body. I did a really cool workshop series at Elevated that was led by Sam Hancock. She's an instructor and just an incredible teacher and aerialist. But she wanted us to explore the 5 senses using the apparatus. So like the first, it was 4 sessions. I wasn't able to go to one of them, so I missed smell and taste. But the first session was touch, and she said, okay, everyone has like a tick, so when you're upset, do you like rub your hands together? Do you, how do you self-soothe? And as I was thinking about it, I was like, oh yeah, when I get frustrated or when I'm thinking or, feeling some type of way, my hands go into my hair. And she said, okay, so your apparatus is, you have to treat it with respect and treat it like a friend. So how would you lean on a friend if you were having a bad day, or how would you treat them if they were having a bad day? So it was a way to learn how to express yourself using physical movement. It was really, really cool.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, it's something that I think a lot of us don't have in our day-to-day lives, and it was just a different way to think.
Yeah, very much like you don't really talk about body language that much. You know?
Right.
It is one of those things where like body language does exist, but it's not something that we talk about on a regular basis. You know,
Or think about that much.
yeah, your body just kind of does what your body. If your person talks with your hands, you talk with your hands. You know, or if you use physical comedy. You know, but that is definitely something you can learn to. You know, the more you do it, but you do have to be, you do have to be introspective enough to realize that you are doing it, which is what, she imparted on you all was like, hey, think about it from this angle.
Yeah.
And then, how to switch it up your ship. No, that's cool. That's smart.
Another one that I really enjoyed was she talked about using your line of sight to direct you. So instead of going, okay, I'm going to go into this move and then hit this pose and this pose and this pose and having it be like very choppy, she said to have your gaze direct you. So if you look up, like how can you move your body to move upward into the hoop? Like what kind of movement can you use and what kind of pose? And it's just really interesting. So yeah, I think that aerials is a good way to tell a story.
So we talked story there for a minute. Then you brought up the thing about you brought up the sexy thing, and then I thought in my head, I'm like, I don't think I've ever done a sport that was sexy. So like, or been in something that was sexy. It's like, how does that factor into this?
You've never showed any ankle?
I've not.
Come on, Tank.
I had a belly button ring for like 2 weeks.
Did you really?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Well, yeah. Well, okay. So my friend Doom was a piercing apprentice, and she was like, "Oh, I got to do my my like sample book, where you like flip through and you see all the piercings." And she's like, "I really don't want to have like an 18-year-old girl's like belly button."
Yeah, that's understandable.
She's like, because it's the same every time you look at somebody's books. It doesn't stick out. And I'm like, do you want to pierce my belly? And she's like, would you? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I have like a fat beer belly with hair, and it also has like, like a tattoo across it.
That's hilarious.
And she's like, yes. She's like, I would like that. And I was like, all right, cool. I'm like, I don't have to pay for anything. And she's like, no. She's like, if you could just like, cover the jewelry. I'm like,
I was
okay.
gonna say like the jewelry.
I'm like, all right, yeah, I'll cover the jewelry. You do it. Now you got your portfolio thing. She's like, all right, cool. So,
oh my God.
Went in, had it for 2 weeks, showed it to people at bars. That was fun. And then after a while, I had to get rid of it.
And then when you asked Print to marry you, you gave her the belly button ring.
Yeah, I was like, hold on 1 second, and then like lifted up my shirt, just like kind of like a half-ass Winnie the Pooh, and like start unbuckling it. Yeah, no, that thing was annoying. I don't understand how people keep those things.
I've never tried.
I had my nipples pierced for a while, and that was okay. It wasn't the greatest, but
ouchie.
Yeah, but like belly button, like that was like 2 weeks and done. Yeah.
Over.
Yeah. So yeah, but anyways, I never played sexy sports. So how does what's that like? Like,
I mean, I don't really consider it sexy. I had never even thought about it being sexy until my my friend's husband saw a video that I posted on Instagram, and he was like, "Is Lauren like stripping now?" And I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Like, no. And it had never even occurred to me that it could be like a sexy thing, because in my mind it's like the circus. It's very much like trapeze and that type of thing, acrobatics. It's not like a sexy thing. So I think it's really just like the lens that you want to look at it through, or like the way that you want to portray, or like what's your angle? What are you going for? What look are you going for?
You're wanting to skate around. You want to do a little floor shift, and you're wanting to get up on the hoop.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, I just want to do some wild shit that people don't usually do with their body.
But again, if I could just make a suggestion, you really could, like, what? Am I not allowed to?
No, it's just they've been really funny so far, so I'm excited to hear it. Go for it.
All right. Well, I'm just saying you could like just do a total Linda Hamilton from T2 thing. You know, like
I don't know about that.
you've never seen Terminator 2 with Linda Hamilton?
Oh no, sorry, I haven't.
You should see it because Linda Hamilton is great. And she does like super cool pull-ups, and she's shooting multiple things, especially the T-1000. She shoots it a lot. She's a very scary woman.
Yeah, you know, I
If you're looking for less sexy and more scary, but
that's it.
But here's the thing: she's so scary, it's sexy.
Like she could like crush a watermelon between her thighs.
It's Sarah Connor, so sure, yeah.
This is hilarious to me because everyone does kind of like a sad song in their performance.
Oh no.
Everyone does like something kind of sad.
I have way different energy than what this is.
No. That's what is so fucking funny. Is like I know someone performed to the song. I've never heard the song, but they said it was called Broken Doll.
Oh God.
So that's the kind of energy that's usually there. So I don't know how you could follow like all of these like sad power ballads basically with like a flaming hoop and Terminator and Alien and a Xenomorph. Like
Well, I mean, I feel like you'd stand out.
yeah, for sure.
You know, at the end of the night, people are gonna remember one. It's yours.
The roller skating gal, you know, with the flaming hoop and the Terminator mask. Like, she really nailed it.
She really did. She said something about 80s feminist sci-fi icons.
Yeah. That's what the theme, that should be a show.
Yeah.
Like, someone should do a showcase where it's just 80s feminist sci-fi icons.
Yeah.
And just run with that theme.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Yeah. No.
We've just come up with something so brilliant. I'm actually super jazzed on this.
All right. Sick. I'm excited. So, you know, if you invite me to come see you, that way I don't have to sit through like 6 performances of like back-to-back women that have picked Evanescence. I'm like,
Oh my God.
fuck, this is rough.
Well, I did become acquainted with a woman in a workshop that I did because I saw that she had an Orville Peck
that's nice.
sticker. Yeah, on her water bottle. And I was having a conversation with someone else, stopped mid-sentence, and I was like, you like Orville Peck? And she said, she said that she performed to Let Me Drown, which is also a very sad song. And she said that she did that for her showcase. And I was like, okay, well, we could definitely be friends.
Well, now we're friends.
Yeah, we're friends now.
That's how it sometimes happens. You see a t-shirt, you see a sticker, boom, now we're friends.
Yeah.
All right, so you kind of answered this earlier. Like, so the way you described it earlier, you went to a work conference and then you went to another gym. Well, is gym the right term?
Gym or studio, whatever.
Studio,
the
okay,
fuck.
studio,
Yeah.
okay. Again, see, this is the other thing with the show, with like getting in people's hobbies and collections. It's like I'm constantly like, am I calling your thing the right thing? Because when you call people's thing the wrong thing, they do not like it.
That's understandable. For this, I don't really care.
Okay, so you go out to the gym studio, and so you cover both bases. But it sounded like that was just kind of like you were in the area you dropped in. Have you ever like specifically traveled to some place to go check it out?
No, I haven't, but that's definitely something that people do. And it's kind of, again, I'm a rookie. I don't really know. But I think that's also really aimed towards like instructors. There's like a lot of instructor retreats where people can go and like learn how to better teach. Which I know I just like keep singing the praises of elevated aerials, but seriously, those instructors have done they've gone above and beyond to make themselves really high quality instructors. So I know that they've gone to a lot of retreats and have done a lot of training to be effective.
That sounds pretty cool.
It's really, really awesome.
This seems like something like, could you like hang one of these things off a tree outside? Could you just,
Oh,
like,
fuck yeah.
okay, you could do this in the woods?
Yeah, people will go like and put a rig up like by the beach, or
Oh, cool.
like they'll do it on a boat over the water, or I think I've seen videos of people doing it off of like, rock structures and stuff. You just have to have the shit on there securely. And that's another big thing, like making sure that everything is tied on correctly.
Yeah, that seems like something you would really
Very
want to
important.
have an angle on.
Yeah, you
Like-
don't want to be a quadriplegic.
Yeah, no. And definitely, it's especially now you're taking this game outdoors and the 8-inch pads go bye-bye.
Yeah. That's something that I worry about with like incorporating skating, because then how do you get the crash pad under you?
Ooh.
You see what I mean?
So now you got to work something in performance where you drop the skates. And maybe that's like the part of the song where you're transitioning as a person, where you're going from this 20-year-old girl to this 30-year-old woman.
Oh, look at that.
See, look at that. See, I got
You're so good at this. You are so good at this.
I'm working all these things. I look, if I can just start, a small production company where I help women realize their dreams through Lyra and their performance, maybe that's what God put me on this earth to do.
You are fulfilling it. You are fulfilling your purpose.
All right. So, okay. So with conferences for this or going to other places, like, are there competitions for this? Like, can you compete in this?
I know that there are for pole. I'm not so sure for Lyra.
Yeah. Again, this feels like it gets into the world of like figure skating or gymnastics or skateboarding, where you're hitting poses and you're holding them and you're doing it in the right, or even like bodybuilding, where it's like, this is a very subjective judging of what's happening. It's not like a thing like basketball where it's like, well, they put the ball in the hoop more, therefore that team wins.
Right.
This is way more of like, again, the whole storytelling aspect and like, are you being judged on your muscle structure or like how you're sitting in the pose or how elegantly you got in and out of it? Like, was there a trouble in transition?
But that's kind of what I was saying earlier too, is that also like poses look different on different people, just like articles of clothing look different on different people.
Yeah, I guess just how would you judge it?
So yeah, how could you possibly?
But it's got to be out there, right?
I mean, I think so. Unfortunately, I think that it also kind of falls into the social media category too, of like, that could be like a way that you perform or whatever. But fuck social media, seriously.
Yeah, this is interesting because you were talking before about the episode with Joy talking about the belly dancing, and we got into a similar conversation about like the majority of the convo is about like what it is and the art of it, and again, it's something where it's like, it's an art, but it's really like physically like demanding,
Yeah.
and there's costumes and telling a story, but yet you have to be in phenomenal shape to do this, but then different body types. Like there's a lot of crossover here between these two worlds. But that was something else that kind of came up was we started talking about competition stuff, and she was like, not like a huge fan of it and discussing, like kind of the stuff that is not fun about it. And it exists in that world, but it's really like it's like a subgroup inside the world of it.
Yeah, I can definitely see the parallels you're making. And something that just occurred to me is I think that like in any hobby that I have, the moment that it starts becoming less about you sharing a journey, like sharing a part of yourself or like what you found, when that stops and it becomes more of a flex, it is an immediate turnoff for me. And I think like competing falls into the flex category for sure.
Yeah, I think for me, it's different people wanting different things out of something.
Yeah.
And my thing is I'm like, don't want to compete in stuff, because then if I start competing in it, then it becomes something else that I stress about, and I hold myself to a certain standard. So like either like when I was doing jiu-jitsu or now like doing CrossFit again, I'm like, I'm just here for my own health, and I don't really care about anybody else or where they are on the, like I'm and I don't want to be involved in the thing where like now I have to practice for something and I have to get really good at it, and now that's something else that's weighing on me in terms of stress. But that being said, I do have friends in both those worlds that are like, that is their major thing in their life, is they want to compete and they want to be really good at both those things. Like my buddy Dan has like won multiple tournaments now, and travels to different places and rolls with people, and man, that makes that dude fucking happy. And it's like, that's cool. And I think that in my same way, like my friend Tess at CrossFit, like she does like competitive weightlifting, and it's just like, that's cool because that's what you're wired for and that's what you want to do, but that's not what I want to do. And it is like the whole subsect thing of it, where it's like, it's such a big world that me and these other people can exist, and our experience with it is totally different, but like we're still all friends and we're still
for sure
doing something similar together.
I think that like even with CrossFit, there's something there's something kind of finite, I guess, where you can say my PR is X number of pounds or kilograms or whatever. And you can say like with golf, I know absolutely nothing about golf. I have
handicap.
What?
Your handicap, like what you have to give other people that play against you.
Okay. That sounded very derogatory.
Oh, no. Now I realize you were probably going to go on with like how far you can drive the ball or something.
Yeah,
like that.
exactly.
But another way that you do measure yourself in golf is a handicap when people play you. So like it's, the way I understand it is basically like, let's say I'm really good at golf and you're not as good at golf, then I have to give myself like 7 strokes extra from the jump.
Yeah.
If we play each other. So that way it's more of a competitive match, where that way it kind of evens out. Because like if we're just playing heads up and I'm better than you, then I'm going to win, no questions asked. But if we set a stake where it's like, hey, I have this thing that's kind of like, I have like, something where now I'm playing from behind to begin with, then it evens out in terms of player ability.
Yes. Okay. I'm glad that you said that and saved me from floundering. But with those things, like there's something like tangible and finite where you can have a number that you say, this is the best that I've ever done. Mm-hmm. And with aerials or, like with certain styles of skating, that just does not exist.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Because it is one of those things where now it is, again, this gets into the art side of it, I think. Where it is subjective, and it's, it gets a little weird right there, where you try to figure out where does this thing fit in.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, maybe, I think that's kind of your attraction to it, is like, it doesn't fit. It feels like with this and skating both, it's one of those things where you like to put the peanut butter and the chocolate together. Like,
that's my favorite flavor combination.
You're kind of melding some stuff. Yeah. So yeah, I see, and again, I see why that would attract you and your personality, of why you would want to do this.
I'm glad that you just armchair psychologied me.
Well, that's what the show is pretty much. Is I just look at people's hobbies and I try to figure it out.
No intimidation for anyone else coming on the show in the future.
Well, again, I just want to learn shit. I just want to learn like what is their hobby. I mean, this is one of my hobbies. I decided to start a talk show in my basement.
That's pretty sick though.
And there's a group of people out there that do that, but we're kind of a small number in the grand scheme of things, then I mean, realistically, the show could be about whatever, if I wanted to, it could be like it could be a number of podcasts, but this is the one I picked.
I was to say, this is the one you like.
Yeah. So if I didn't do this, maybe I'd do like a history podcast. That'd be sick. That'd be cool. I don't know. Anyways, so I don't know. As I'm just pontificating about what podcast I would host if I wasn't hosting this piece of shit. All right. So, all right. So, are there Lyra celebrities? Are there Or are there people that are like, oh my God, it's her?
I'm gonna sound so fucking cheesy, but honestly, for me, it's seriously my instructors.
Okay.
I don't know. Again, I'm kind of a rookie, and I'm like, kind of getting into this, and I haven't delved into it super hard because it's just, it's a journey, man. But really, like, my instructors are like that for me because they can do movements and poses and hold them and explain exactly what they're doing, and they're not even thinking about it. And I have real respect for that because that just goes to show how much time they've devoted in their lives to this thing that they love so much, and they're sharing it.
So, now that you're sucking up them on the podcast, do you do you bring them an apple or do you bring them a towel? Like what do you bring your instructor as a way to be like, hey?
I fan them with palm fronds.
Okay, very, very cool. Well, that sounds like, I don't know how you get that in a gym bag, but hey, God bless.
I haul them in.
Fair enough. But yeah, okay, so has anybody like crossed over into the Lyra world that is already a pre-established celebrity? Like, is there anybody like, it's one of those things where it's like, oh, such and such is coming out of the Beverly Hills Lyra, studio.
I think that there's like there's a pretty big like aerialist scene out in LA, of course. But I kind of don't want to know about it. Like, I don't want to have something to like compare myself against, I just kind of want to do my thing. So I haven't tuned into it.
Interesting. Sometimes I would see like with jiu-jitsu stuff like Jonah Hill popping up. Or,
that makes sense.
Or what's his name? Mad Max. Not Mel Gibson. Hardy.
Tom.
Tom Hardy. Yeah, like
I
Tom.
forgot that he was in that.
Yeah, like Tom Hardy doing jiu-jitsu stuff, and Zach and Slater from Saved by the Bell were both doing jiu-jitsu at one point.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, Al Bundy has a black belt.
Al Bundy?
From
Really?
Married with Children? Yeah.
It's because, you know what? It's because he put his hands in the waistband so much he got a black belt.
There's a picture of him online doing this with his black
That's
belt. That's
hilarious.
Yeah.
That is so good.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I do think it's interesting when that happens, when like you're in something and all of a sudden like a celebrity pops up.
Willow Smith weirdly like got into skating for a hot minute.
Really?
And was like actually really fucking good. Yeah.
Isn't she like really into metal bands? Like she's in a metal band? Or
I don't know.
I know her mom is.
Jada Pinkett Smith.
Yeah, Jada Pinkett Smith was in a metal band.
I don't know. That whole family is
oh, yeah.
really weird, man.
Oh yeah, the whole thing is a mess. But yeah, this is just like random stuff I know about the Smiths because I live in America.
Did Will Smith ever do jujitsu and then learn how to really slap the piss out of somebody?
I don't know. Now you can. There is a form of jiu-jitsu that now is incorporating palm strikes, hand slaps.
I was gonna say palm strike is a very fancy way of saying like bitch slapping somebody.
It's a technical term,
Yeah.
Although you see, this is one of those things where I call it this, you call it that.
Yeah. Tomato.
Palm strike. You mean bitch slapping?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
well,
that too, yeah.
Okay, we got synonyms. So, all right, so a few more questions here to start to wind down. All right, so Lyra's not the only thing going on here. Like, we've talked about, like, silks. Mm-hmm. What the fuck, dude? Like, again, this looks scary.
Oh my God,
like,
those shits.
Like, every time I see one of these things online, it's a lady, and she's, like, tumbling. It looks like she's about like to smack the ground, and all of a sudden like it's like she's on a bungee cord and she stops. Mm-hmm.
It's really stretchy material, and let me tell you something, they squeeze you. The silks will squeeze you,
really,
because you wrap them around yourself, and then like when you do a drop, I've never done one, but I imagine that when you do a drop, it like really like squeezes your belly. And also I haven't gotten into silks because I'm fucking lazy, and with the Lyra you can sit on it like Tweety Bird and just be happy. But if you're on silks, there's nothing to rest on. You have to be holding yourself up constantly.
How do you get, like, are there just like women scaling curtains? Like, how does this work?
Yeah, so I went to a level 1 silks class not that long ago, and I'm sorry, no, it was sling, which is basically,
That was my next question.
it was basically like a silk. It's not, instead of having 2 ribbons that come down from the ceiling, it's just like a swing, like one silk that's attached, like both ends are at the ceiling, so it just makes like a swing. And I fucking got tangled up in that shit. Like, I got lost in the fucking fabric. It's really difficult.
I love the fact there is a swing that exists in this world. Like, you're kind of breaking my brain right now.
Like, there's all kinds of shit. Like, people do this with chains too. Like, there are cubes that hang from the ceiling. Like,
you said it earlier, like the whole acrobat thing, you know, where like people are flip-flopping around on fucking trapezes and shit like that.
there are people that do trapeze at the studio that I go to at the aerial gym. I have only seen it a couple of times, but it's scary as shit.
Yeah, it looks very scary. The whole idea of like flying through the air and then somebody else catching you.
They weren't doing that. It was just a guy hanging by his knees.
Nope.
Yeah, and he was really high off the ceiling, because if you think about, a full-grown man that's probably, 6 feet tall, and he is hanging by his knees, and he reaches down to grab a lady that's probably like 5'5". Mm-hmm. I mean, you have to be like probably, I don't know, like I guess like maybe 9 feet off the ground, at least, definitely more than that. But like, to be hanging upside down and to be able to reach down and grab someone, and then for them to swing on you.
Nope.
And you're hanging by your fucking knees,
Nope.
man.
Nope.
And it was hot in there, and that guy was sweaty as fuck, so I know that he was getting slippery.
Ugh. I don't like any of this.
It was making me very uncomfortable.
This is all very scary. Also, I'm just imagining like taking like, some like, I mean, it doesn't seem like really big when you put it in this terms, when it's like, some like 5'2" lady, it's like 110 pounds. But if she's getting rocketed towards you off of a fucking trapeze, and now she's just like a heat-seeking missile and you clunk heads, that would suck so bad.
Terrible. I've never thought of that either. Yeah, that is awful.
That's got to happen, right? I
mean,
mean,
it's had to have happened.
It's had to have happened. Somebody's like, "Yeah, I'll catch you," and then like some lady just like gets like way too high and launches out there. They get the fucking timer wrong, and then boom.
The guy that launches her, it's a different dude filling in, and he's just a little bit stronger than the other guy.
Yeah, just launches her.
That's really fucking scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. See,
so, don't do that.
No, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do any of this. That's the whole point of the episode. I don't want to do any of these things. They're all terrifying.
No one's forcing you, man. No one's forcing you.
Okay, I'm staying outside. I'm just gonna direct what I would like to see, and then I will come to the performances. But the day to day, that's not my thing.
Not for you.
Not for me. No. So, but yeah, it is a crazy thing. It is cool to watch people do it, like especially the silk.
I'm sorry, I'm still laughing at the heat-seeking missile.
It's what it is.
I know. It's really, really awful, though. Yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your train of thought.
That's okay. No, it's fine. But yeah. No, the whole thing is just. It's let me cap it off by saying this. It is, I think, one of the things that I respect it, and I find it impressive because I know it's something I would never do.
Yes.
And I do think there's a lot of performance stuff and a lot of sports stuff that I am captivated by because I could never see myself doing it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I agree.
Like, it's the same way, like, I look at something, like, if I look at skateboarding, I'm like, couldn't do that. Ice skating, couldn't do that. Those kind of things where I'm just like, I just, physically, could I do it? Maybe. But mentally, I could never put myself in the position to even try it to begin with.
There are certain degrees, like, there's just some shit that it's like, no, I just value my body being able to move too much to attempt some of that stuff.
I think we've also just hit on the willingness how far are you willing to go to the extreme end of a hobby?
Yeah.
Because this was something that came up in the episode that I did about racing, where we were talking and I was talking to Tony about it, and he was saying that like he's good for racing on a track and all that, and he's cool with it, but like the idea of rally racing is super scary to him. And it's just like, oh yeah, because even though he's down with racing, the idea of being on like some crazy course where you're just like blitzing through a forest.
Yeah,
and,
that's understandable why you wouldn't want to do that.
And like you're not on asphalt, you're on gravel at best, maybe just dirt.
Too many variables.
Yeah, a lot of variables. There's videos of people like doing rally racing when it's snowing. Imagine like you're just pushing a car and you're trying to hit like 60 miles per hour and there's like like 2-3 inches of snow on the ground and you're taking corners in this.
No, absolutely not. That's fucking stupid.
Yeah. So like the trapeze side of it is kind of like that. Like I recently went to Vegas. I saw my first Cirque du Soleil. Yeah. Saw our first show of that, and that again was a whole thing of me. Lauren was like, I can't believe how much you like that. I'm like, I was just amazed the whole time. Like, there's just, you're watching people drop out of the sky on like leather bungee cords, and then they're just like flip flopping, throwing each other over top of us. Like people are shooting up over top of us in the crowd.
Oh,
wow. We're watching like, these dudes that are like, maybe like 5'5" or less coming out and then scaling poles. And then they're like just, leaning sideways on a pole. How are they not just dropping and getting severely injured right now? And that's their day to day to day to day.
Yeah.
That's what they do for literally for a living.
Yeah. And I just think about, again, I think that honestly, that's where it becomes like a sport because again, you're having to maintain your body in a certain way.
Yeah, 100%. Be able to keep doing the performance at that much of a high level every night.
Yeah, that caliber.
But again, it's not a sport because they're not competing. They're working together as part of a team. They're getting paid for it. So it is a performance. I
don't think it's a Venn diagram,
Yeah. Again, it's one of those things where does this crazy fucking thing fall? And it's kind of a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Huh. Cool. Well, hey, look, was there anything you wanted to talk about before we got out of here?
I don't think so, really. I think we've covered a lot of ground. I think that Aerials is really fun, and I think that there's a space for everyone there. And if you're curious, you should try it out.
Listener, I will not be trying it out, but I will be supporting my friend who is doing it. So speaking of, like, what's next? Like, do you have goals for this? Is there like a certain move that you want to hit, or is there a certain, like, you kind of talked about earlier performance? Like, is it just the one performance in mind? Have you picked the music for the performance yet?
Ooh, I think about that a couple of times a week, and I still haven't really landed on anything.
Do you have a performance playlist?
Oh no, I should start making one. That's a good idea. But I think that my ultimate goal is really to be able to like have a solid routine and incorporate skating into it in some way.
Can we back up on the music real quick?
Yeah.
Got some suggestions. Bob Seger's Night Moves.
Oh my God.
Great song.
Night Moves.
Night Moves is great. Working on your night moves.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could work that into it. That'd be really good. See, I just don't want you to have Broken Doll. Like,
what about Creedence Clearwater Revival or something?
I mean, are you protesting the Vietnam War while you're up on the hoop? What are we doing here?
Sure. Why not?
You're playing Fortunate Son. It's just like it's about when she tried to dodge the draft to go to Vietnam, and it's like, wait, what?
Yeah, I mean, we've already referenced Forrest Gump, and CCR was
right
played,
there. All
yeah,
right, fair enough. All right, yeah, that you could definitely go with that. I'm sure that Riot Girl stuff has to get picked, right? I'm sure that people have done like Bikini Kill or something like this.
I'm sure someone has.
Slater Kinney something
like it. That's not really. I don't think that's the vibe, man.
The vibe is just sad.
Yeah, for a lot of people, I think the vibe is just kind of sad.
Why
but
is it so sad?
But you don't have to be sad. That's my goal. I'm not doing a sad fucking song.
This is a very weird world where people are wearing colorful things, but then it's sad.
I think it's just because sadness is an easy emotion to portray.
Yeah, I don't know. This just kind of seems like very Radiohead, or maybe like when Joy Division became New Order. Like,
oh yeah,
there's a mix of things happening here.
Which Radiohead album? Not Pablo Honey.
No.
I don't know. Maybe there's a little bit of creep in there.
Okay. Well, that is kind of sad. Yeah, I would go with something from Kid A or OK Computer.
Yeah. Okay, Computer.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
But do you only do the one performance, or like can you do one every year?
I think you can do it every year. And there's also like, I know there are a couple of like, I guess organizations that around Cincinnati that do like more burlesque type of stuff. Mm-hmm. But like I said, I don't think that's really the wheelhouse that I want to get into.
Okay. You're looking for that once a year performance.
Baby, I'm looking for a way to bring Terminator or Alien into this thing.
No, I like it. I mean, it's your WrestleMania.
Yeah,
that's the
for
way.
Sure.
That's the way I look at it. Yeah. And why not have the pageantry that we would see, at WrestleMania?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm glad we got to the bottom of this whole Lyra thing. Again, very scary, but I'm happy for you.
Thanks, man.
All right. Hey, let people know where they can find you out online if they want to check out your shit.
You can find me on Instagram, Lauren S. Skates, and that's about it.
Cool. Listener, where to find me at Neil to Know on Instagram. Go pick up the Rants and Rabbit Holes beer at High Green if you're in the Cincinnati area, or if not, just come here on a weekend. That'd be cool. And yeah, I mean, you can't stay at the house or anything. It depends on if I know you or not. Like if I know you, possibility, but like if you're just some creepy person I don't know, I mean, I don't know, man. Like get an Airbnb. We can meet up for a beer. How about that? If you come in to see me from out of town, we'll meet for a beer. And other than that, if you like the terrifying world of doing tricks on hoops and posing, or if you have a friend that's into Lyra, tell about the episode. That really does help to get the show out to new people that haven't listened to it yet, and then let them know there's a whole back catalog where every week I'm interviewing a different person about their hobby and collection. You do not have to listen to the shows in chronological order. You can just go through and pick whatever you want. The show is evergreen for the most part. So yeah, if you see something that interests you, push play on it. Lauren, thanks for coming by. I had a blast. It was way fun.
Thanks, Tank.
All right. Listener, peace.